my lovely students, how are you all? A very hearty welcome to this mind-blowing platform, Physics Wallah. My name is Upur Sharma and today we are going to do the ultimate recap of the chapter If I Were You and the Lost Child. Okay, so we are going to do the summary of If I Were You and then of the Lost Child. So first of all, let us discuss the title of If I Were You. Now somebody is talking about being someone else. Okay, he is talking about impersonating the other person. Now, why is he saying so? We are going to find out in this chapter. Now, this chapter is basically a drama. Okay, this is a drama. And this drama has been written by Douglas James. The writer is Douglas James. And in this chapter, we are going to find out that whenever we are in a very bad situation, okay, whenever we are in a trouble, how sheer cleverness helps us. Okay, so there is a person here whose name is Gerard. He is in a predicament, and what he does to come out of it, that forms the basic plot of this drama. So Gerard, the protagonist. So the protagonist's name is Gerard. The play opens with Gerard talking on the phone. He was a man of medium height and lived in a lonely cottage in the forest. So first of all, they are also giving the physical description of the person, Gerard. Okay, so he is a very important person. He is a protagonist and he is the person who is, basically talking on the phone. And as we can see that his description is given that he is of medium height and he is living alone. Okay, all these details are really very important, that he is living in a lonely cottage in the forest of Essex. So Essex is the place where he lives. He was wearing his glasses, a lounge suit and a long coat. Okay, the whole description is given because obviously when we are talking about drama, so the whole description is really very important in order to imagine that what kind of a drama is he, what kind of a character he is, what kind of clothes is he wearing. After he put down the phone, he started packing a traveling bag. So after he puts down the phone, as he was talking on the phone, he just puts down his phone and it was seeming as if he was planning to go somewhere because he was, packing his traveling bag. It appeared that he was going somewhere because after just looking at his actions, we could figure out that he was, trying to, leave his house and go somewhere. The intruder entered the house. So now, while Gerard was busy in packing, a man with a revolver in his hand quietly entered the house. So the first person of the drama was Gerard, the protagonist, and the second one is a stranger who tries to enter the house. Now he entered the house. He looked very much similar to Gerard. As I told you, that the physical description of Gerard is given that he is of medium height and he was wearing this and that. Okay, so the physical description of the person is given, and then another person is also given that he just looks very much similar, not same, but similar to Gerard. He was wearing a long coat and a soft hat. Okay, so this was his physical description, that what he was wearing, so that we can imagine in our minds, because as I told you that this is a drama. The intruder ordered Gerard to put his hands up and also asked him to answer some of his questions. Gerard remains calm and talks to the intruder politely. Now, as I told you, this chapter is all about how to remain calm in a predicament. Whenever you are in a bad situation, how you need to behave, that we really need to learn from Gerard. So Gerard, he was just calm. Okay, he had, he was pointing a gun to Gerard, but still he was just calm. Okay, he was calm and he was answering all the questions politely. He, he was not at all disturbed and he did not stir at all, and he was like, okay, he was just politely answering the questions. Gerard told intruder that he was feeling uncomfortable while standing with his hands lifted up. So intruder allows Gerard to sit on the chair and he himself sat on the divan. So as I told you that Gerard, because of the sheer cleverness, and I can say that he was really very, intelligent sort of a person, he was really a very confident person. He did not lose his confidence in such a situation as well. So he told that because, you have told me to raise my hands up, I cannot stand for so long. Please let me sit. And the intruder lets him sit, and he himself also, he sat on the divan. He then started to ask the questions. The intruder wanted to know the basic information like full name, talking style, etc. about Gerard. As it is pretty much evident by the name of the chapter only that this person this intruder, he is actually trying to impersonate Gerard. That is why he is asking the basic questions about him, like his full name, his talking style, etc. He was actually observing Gerard very carefully so that he could know each and every small, minute detail about Gerard. The intruder's motive. Now, what was the intruder's motive? Why he was doing so? The intruder told Gerard. Now, he made it very much clear to Gerard that he was a jewel robber. Okay, he was a jewel robber. He had killed a policeman. Okay, so he was a killer. He was a killer as well. He had killed a policeman and he was running away from the police. Okay, so he was on a run. Okay, he was on a run. So that is why he was, you know, that much we could tell by his body language and we could tell by his behavior that he was really very much scared that, okay, I might not get caught. So that is why he was making a plan. Now, he further informed Gerard that he had planned to kill him and take his identity. Okay, so this was his plan. He had made it really very clear because after, you know, looking at all as his, you know, his all actions, it was clear. But now he also confessed that yes, my plan is to murder you and my plan is to take your identity. He wanted to live a peaceful and carefree life in Vincent Charles Gerard, you know, life as Vincent Charles Gerard. So here we come to know the full name of the character of the protagonist, that is Vincent Charles Gerard. And as we know that he was living in a lonely cottage. This is a thing that we need to notice, that the intruder had actually noticed this thing, that he was living alone. Okay, and his cottage was also very far and in the forest, in the wild, so he could easily live there. He could just peacefully live there. Otherwise, if he was escaping, he might have to run his whole life, and because he was a killer, he had killed a policeman, so it was a really very dangerous situation for him to live outside. So he had planned that he is going to take up his identity. Now, Gerard's false story. After listening to the intruder, Gerard cleverly made up a false story and informed the intruder that he himself was a criminal. Now, because Gerard was really very smart, okay, so what he did, that he did not deter from this thing that, okay, I am going to, you know, I'm not going to let him, you know, overpower me, and I am going to make a plan myself. So what he did, he told him that I am a criminal. He cooked up a story there and then he cooked up a story that I also am a criminal. Okay, Gerard had murdered someone and had run away. Now he also told that I have also killed someone and I am also, you know, running away. That is why you can see, you know, you can see that I'm packing my bags. However, one of his men has been caught. Okay, he also told that one of his men has been caught. He told that I am a criminal and one of my men is, you know, I also have a partner and he has been caught by the police and the police knows my address and they are going to come and they are going to catch me. He was also running away from the police and had already packed his bag to run. He convinced the intruder by showing his disguise, outfits like false mustache, etc. Now, as I know that he was packing, as I told you that he was packing a bag, and while he was packing a suitcase, he had, you know, false mustache and everything in that. So he told that this is my disguise outfit. I'm gonna dress up my, you know, myself in this mustache and everything, and I'm going to change my looks completely so that I can deceive the police. So he told that I am also on the run and I am also planning to deceive the police so that I am planning to run away from here. So that is what he told the intruder. Gerard's story almost convinced the intruder. The intruder began to think after this. Now this story, Gerard's story, because he was telling the story so convincingly that intruder was actually convinced. Okay, he started thinking that, okay, that he might be right. This was an opportunity for Gerard to work on his plan, and now because Gerard had made a clever plan, he had cooked up a false story. He thought that, okay, I have got a good opportunity. He is actually starting to believe me. Gerard asked the intruder to hurry and with him in his car as police is about to reach there soon. Now Gerard told that as I am leaving, I'll also take you along with me, and what you do, you just hurry up. I'm going to take up you along with me because I'm also running, you're also running, so we both will run away from the police. While the intruder looked inside, Gerard gave him a push and locked him in a cupboard. So because he told him that, you know, you look outside, there is a car standing there, okay, and it is waiting for us and we have to sit in the car. So he told him, you just look there. You just look there. And he was looking somewhere and he thought this is a door, this is an exit door. But this was not an exit door. It turned out that it was a cupboard. Okay, it was not an exit door, it was a cupboard. So he found himself locked in a cupboard because Gerard did so. He just pushed him and he just locked him in the cupboard. The gun fell down from the intruder's hand. Gerard picked the gun and called up the sergeant to arrest the intruder. So what he did, that, you know, because he pushed him, so in all this thing, in all this confusion, the gun fell down, and it was a great opportunity for Gerard. He picked up the gun. He was just quick-witted and he was quick in action. We can say that he was, you know, he was a very nimble person. He did just like this. He was really very quick, and he called up the sergeant. He called the police and he told the police all the matter. He told the whole matter and he told that come and arrest this person. The true identity of Gerard, who was actually a playwright, got revealed when he says that he got something for his next play from this experience. Now, as I told you, that he was able to cook up a story there and then. He was able to cook up a story because he was a playwright. He was actually a playwright. So what is the, you know, characteristics of writers? If we talk about, you know, they can write about anything and everything, and they can, you know, beautifully make up a story anywhere. So that is what he did. He used one of his talents and he made up a story. And because he was a playwright, he had all the disguise outfits and everything that, you know, the people were supposed to play in the plays and everything. So he had the fake mustache and everything. So he thought that, okay, why not use these props to, you know, help my own plot. And because of this, because of his presence of mind, because of his quick-wittedness, he was able to make the story and he was able to save himself. So this shows that, you know, quick-wittedness can actually help you. And whenever you are in a predicament, you should not, you know, let the situation overpower you. Instead, you should, you know, help yourself by not cooking up the stories, but, you know, using your presence of mind to do something and to get yourself out of such a situation. And this is what Gerard did. So Vincent Charles Gerard, who was the protagonist of the story, was a really very smart person. Okay? So this is how the story ends. Now, let us talk about the second chapter, that is the lost child. Okay, when we talk about this chapter, the lost child. Now, the lost child, what is it about? The lost child is about the love of parents. Okay, the bond of parents and a child. Okay, so the writer of this chapter is Mulk Raj Anand. Okay. Mulk Raj Anand is the writer of this chapter, and through this chapter he draws our attention towards the relationship between parents and their children. Okay, now if we talk about the relationship between parents and their children, people have different kinds of relationship with their children. You know, children have different kinds of bond with their parents. Sometimes the children are really very fond of their parents and they are very frank with their parents. They are very much, you know, they are gelled up with their parents and they can convey anything and everything they can share with their parents. But sometimes the parents are really very strict. Sometimes the father or the mother is strict, or both of them are really very strict, and the children are not basically able to, you know, convey their feelings and everything to their parents. They are very much scared of their parents. And we are talking about those times. We are talking about those times when the children were really very scared of the parents. If in today's world, and the today's scenario says that, you know, the children share a great deal of relationship with their parents. They are able to, you know, demand from their parents. They can, you know, ask anything from their parents. But when we talk about the older times, then at that time, the children were not very frank with their parents. They used to be very much afraid of their parents. They did not, you know, easily, they did not let out their feelings in front of them. And what kind of relationship they had, that is what we are going to find out in this chapter. So the boy goes to the fair. This chapter is based on the fair. Okay, a fair. So the boy goes to a fair. During the springtime, the people of the village came out of their houses in colorful attires. Okay, so the people were wearing colorful attires and walked towards the fair. A child along with his parents was going to the fair and was very excited and happy. So if we look at this chapter very carefully, beautiful imagery has been used in this chapter. Okay, a beautiful visual description of each and everything, each and every detail has been taken care by Mulkraj Anand, so that we can actually imagine that we are in a fair, we are in the fair, and we are actually looking at all those things. So we are talking about a child who is going to the fair along with his parents during the springtime, and not only them but a lot of people are going along with them. Okay. So parents' reaction on boys' attractions. He was attracted to the stalls of toys and sweets. Okay, so because he was a child, so the children have a lot of longing for the other things, you know, for the colorful things and, you know, the new things. They want to explore, they want to, you know, enjoy and relish the different things. So he was very much excited to see the toys and sweets, though his father got angry. Okay, the father got angry, but his mother pacified him. So the duty of the mother was to pacify, and the father, because he was getting very angry, and diverted his attention towards other things. The child moved forward, but once again he lagged behind because his eyes were caught by one thing or the other every now and then. Now, because they were going to a fair, and you know, when we talk about a fair, in fair we have different sort of things. We have sweets, we have garlands, we have, you know, different multiple stalls and hawkers and, you know, swings. So there are a lot of attractions, especially for a young child. We have a lot of things that can actually distract him. So this is what was happening with the child. It is all normal, but the father was really very angry. Father did not want his son to divert his attention. The mother also pacified him. Mother also did not, you know, get convinced by the boy's you know, demands. He was not directly demanding, but the mother was seeing that, okay, my child wants this thing, but she, you know, she was also trying to divert his attention, that look at the mustard seeds, look at this thing, look at this thing. So she was also not ready to buy anything for him. So the beautiful mustard field. Meanwhile, his mother asked him to see the mustard field. As I told you that the mother's duty was to pacify him and divert his attention. So she diverted his attention to a beautiful mustard field. Now, you know, when we talk about a mustard field, the mustard field is all yellow. It's all very beautiful. So when he saw the mustard field, which looked like a field of gold, okay, it was looking like a field of gold. There were yellow flowers. When we talk about a mustard field, it's really very beautiful. A group of dragonflies were fluttering their colorful wings over the mustard flowers. You know, when we are children, you know, when we are young, everything seems to be very beautiful. We see more and more colors because we are very happy. When we are children, we do not have any worry, we do not have any tensions in our mind. So we are very happy, and when we are happy, we look at all the brighter things. Okay, we look at the bright side of the things, and that is what this person was doing, this child was doing. He was looking at the dragonflies, their colorful wings. He was just looking that they are fluttering all around, they're, you know, flying, and he could see all the colors that were present there. The child tried catching one of those colorful insects. So he was also trying to catch the dragonflies or the butterflies, and you know, you can relate to it that when you were young, when you were a child, you also would have done something like that. You know, you would have tried to catch a butterfly or something. But his mother called him to the footpath, and he ran towards his parents gaily. But the mother again, she called him that, okay, just do not get, you know, busy there only, we have to go to the fair. So he went to his parents gaily. Gaily means happily. Happily he went towards his parents, because as I told you that he was happy, he was seeing colors all around, and he was really very much elated. So the relishing sweets. When the child reached the fair with his parents, he saw a sweetmeat seller. Okay, so the first thing that caught his attention right after entering the fair was a sweetmeat seller. He was you know, selling gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi. You know, all these are the names of the Indian sweets that he really loved, and they were really very colorful. They were looking very much relishing. His mouth watered. Seeing the tasty sweets, his mouth watered. He actually wanted to try all these sweets. And he asked his father to buy him a sweet. But he did not, but no one paid heed to his request. But they did not paid heed to his request. Now when we talk about the older times, I was telling you that nowadays we have plenty of options, you know, we have multiple things to eat. But when I talk about those times, you know, the sweets were really, you know, a thing of pleasure. You know, they were very you know, important for a child, because you know, it was not very frequent, it was not very common for the kids to have all these kind of sweets and everything. Nowadays it is really very common, and I don't think so that children actually like to eat sweets. But you know, if we talk about those times, children really, you know, love to eat these sweet relishing things. So the childish longing for flowers and balloons. Then he saw beautiful garlands. He saw beautiful garlands of gulmohar, but he didn't ask for it. He didn't ask for it. Okay, there were beautiful garlands there. He didn't ask for it. Then he saw balloons, but he knew very well that his parents would deny it due to the fact that he was too old to play with balloons. So he walked away. So the child also knew that his parents are really very strict. The parents are not going to pay attention to his, you know, any of his demands. So he, you know, he convinced himself that, okay, my parents are not going to buy me garlands because they are going to say, oh my God, these garlands are so cheap. What would you do of these garlands? What would you do? You know, they are no use to you, of you. They are no use for you. And when we talk about the balloons, you know, what would you do of the balloons? Because you know, you are a grown-up child, and the balloons, you do not need it because you are, you know, grown up. So you are too old to play with balloons. So he walked away. As he knew his parents, so he also decided that I should walk away. I should, you know, I should not waste my time convincing my parents for these things. The snake charmer. As he moved forward, the child noticed a snake charmer. Now this time, he noticed a snake charmer who was playing the flute to a snake coiled in a basket. Now you all know what's a snake charmer. So here the snake charmer was doing his business. He went closer to the snake charmer, but he knew his parents would disapprove of his listening to such coarse music. His parents had warned him earlier that you should not listen to such coarse music, because you know, the snake charmer, he uses a pungi type of a device to, you know, control the snakes and everything. So he knew his parents, that his parents are not going to approve of this kind of a behavior. So he was all ready for that, and he did not, you know, he just convinced himself that okay, I should move from here. If my parents will see me, you know, listening to this kind of music, they are going to, you know, shout at me. They are going to, you know, be they are going to, you know, not like it. So he just went from there. The merry-go-round. He then saw a merry-go-round. This time he saw a merry-go-round, and he wanted to enjoy it. So once again he asked his parents if he wanted a ride, and to his surprise he didn't get any reply. Now he had resisted himself of all these things. He did not ask his parents of all the things. He ignored all the things. He knew that his parents would agree. But looking at the merry-go-round, he could not just control himself. He could not control himself, so he just straight went to his parents, not went to his parents, but he was just standing there. He just looked at the merry-go-round and he asked his parents that, can I go for a ride? Will you please allow me to get, you know, take a ride in this merry-go-round? Because he could not actually resist himself, because when we talk about a fair, the main attractions are these kind of rides. But to his surprise, he didn't get any reply. There was no sort of reply. The sudden realization, the child was lost and he was crying bitterly and running here and there. Now the child was lost. The child was lost because his parents were not seen anywhere. They were nowhere to be seen, and he was crying bitterly and he was running here and there. He was trying to find out his parents. A man heard his cry and he lifted up in his arms and tried to locate his parents. Now there was a nice man there. Okay, so he picked up the child and he started, you know, finding his parents. He started helping the young boy. He asked the names of his parents, but only replied he wants his mom and dad. He was asking that, what is the name of your parents, and okay, how can I find them? But the child was not listening anything because he was too young, okay, and he was just trying, mama, papa, mama, papa. He was just shouting like this, mama, papa, mama, papa. All that he wanted was his mama and papa, and he could not gather himself, you know, he was not able to control himself at that point of time. He did not need anything else. He just needed his mummy, papa. Now the lost child. The man offered him sweets, balloons, horse rides, etc. But he refused all and wanted union with his parents. As I was telling you, that the child was just shouting, Mama, Papa, I need my Mama, Papa. So the man, because he was crying so much, he offered him all those things that he wanted earlier, sweets, balloons, horse rides, etc. But he refused all. He just wanted union with his parents. He refused everything and wanted his parents there. He refused everything that he wanted before. He just denied all those things. Now he was no more fascinated by sweetmeat sellers, balloon, snake charmers, etc. But he wanted his parents, and all things had lost their charm for the boy. So the boy who wanted each and everything, he wanted to, look at the snake charmer, he wanted to listen to his music, he wanted to play with the balloons, he wanted to wear the garland around his neck, he wanted to enjoy each and everything. But now all these things did not matter for him at all. At that point of time, he just needed his parents. So this shows us that what kind of bond the children share with their parents. The children just need their parents. At a certain age, that is what they require. And as I told you, that when, we are happy, we just look at the brighter side of the things, we just look at all the colorful things. But because at that time, he was not happy at all, he was just crying, he was shouting, he did not need anything else, and nothing was appearing to be colorful. Nothing, anything around him did not hold any kind of importance for him. All the things had lost their charm for that boy because he was sad at that time. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this chapter and both the chapters. And if you have any doubt, you can just let me know in the comment section below. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye, children. Take care.